Hey there, welcome back to my unprocessed life. I'm still traveling to Nashville, so I had a little bit of time on my hands, and I was thinking about a thought process I had started in an earlier video today and I hadn't finished, which was I'm still trying to figure out which philosophy I like best as far as health and eating and what it does to my body. And so that means that there's going to be a lot of experimentation early on for me to try to figure out what works best. I started off, as you know, thinking that really raw food is the best way to go. Definitely vegan, but raw. As unprocessed as possible, and I'm not ready to get away from that. But I was thinking that what I wanted to do was try a number of different things, unless I found one that just felt like it was the Holy Grail. And I've really enjoyed the raw lifestyle for the last 3 weeks, especially the high raw. I felt a whole lot better. And so that is something that I've got to take into consideration, but I'm not sure that that's where I want to stay right now. And so, because of that, I'm thinking that what I might do, and I don't know how long I'm going to do it for, but I think what I'd like to do is I'm going to try at least 2 or 3 different philosophies to kind of see how it all pans out. But I need to do it long enough to see how I feel, or get done with it quickly. So I'm trying to figure out whether I need to do like a week or 2 weeks or a month or of each different thing. So I think what I'd like to try to do, and this is just my thought process right now, I reserve the right to change any of my thoughts at any time depending on how I'm feeling, until I commit to doing something specific. I think I'd like to try the Start Solution philosophy for at least a couple weeks, maybe a month. And then I want to do the low-fat, raw vegan, the 80-10-10 as designed. I think being raw the last few weeks, although it's been good, I know I really haven't been at at those numbers. I know that I've been, in some cases, up to 50% fat, so I haven't gotten to that 10% piece at all. Maybe a couple days, but not overall. So I'd like to try to do that as well for a couple weeks or maybe a month to see how I like it, how my body reacts to it more than anything else. So those are the 2 main philosophies that I'm considering at the moment. Maybe a raw till 4 scenario might also be a good one to test out for myself. I guess we'll just have to see. But I'm thinking that's what I want to do. So if you have any thoughts on the matter, please feel free to put them in the comments down below, and I'll take a look at the comments and we'll see what your take is on it, and see if somebody wants to try to sway me one way or the other for either a period of time or a specific philosophy or something along those lines. I don't really have any desire to attempt paleo type of scenarios at this point. Obviously, I'm pretty pro-vegan at this point, and it's gotten to be a place where it's an ethical vegan as well as a health vegan. Although that's where I started, was with health, and then went from there. And I'll probably also look at the Engine 2 diet, because that's what we started a long time ago, and it seemed to do really well. In fact, of all the lifestyles that we've tried, the whole-based plant food stuff, based around the Engine 2 cookbook, I think was the most what's the word I'm looking for? It was the one we were able to stick to best without too much of a challenge. Of course, you know, it's kind of funny because that was our first foray into plant foods and veganism and vegetarianism, all that. That was the very first thing that we tried. So it was the hardest in some respects because we had to learn. There was so much to learn at that time, and the Engine 2 cookbook did a really great job of helping you get to that. You know, give you shopping lists and so forth. Now, you know, we wouldn't have to have that. You know, it would be a whole lot easier to go that route. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. I think I'm probably at a month. I'm not 100% decided at this point. When I get back from my Nashville trip, though, I will indeed have that decision figured out. I believe I'll probably a month. What I may do is I may go like 2 weeks and see how everything's feeling at that point, and then decide whether or not I want to continue on for the rest of the month. Although probably a month is the smallest amount of time that I could really get a good picture of, you know, what I want to, you know, how my body's reacting, how it's feeling, you know, weight loss, all that kind of jazz. So I may end up having to just do a month at a time. So like maybe a month on the starch solution, and a month on low fat raw vegan 80-10-10, a month on Engine 2, and kind of see what my results are, you know, for each one of those, how I'm feeling and so forth. Of course, that may not be a long enough trial period. You know, I may need to do like 3 months or 4 months per to really get a good take on that. So I will take any of the information and feedback I get on that to think about, you know, how long I need to do this for when I'm testing for myself. And of course, I'm sure that none of it's going to be 100% scientific by any stretch of the imagination. It's just going to be, how does it work for me? How hungry am I? How full am I? How satiated am I? How energetic am I? All those kinds of things. Because I know when we first started doing the Engine 2 diet, or the Engine 2 cookbook years ago, we had been doing it for, I don't know, 2 or 3 months. And then I went up to Boston for a training week. And I went off the diet just slightly. I mean, not a whole lot. Well, no, I went off of it a lot, but not for a lot of meals, like just for a couple meals. So I had tried some, it wasn't ribeye, it was a prime rib, that's what it was, which used to be one of my favorite cuts of meat. And when I would go to Boston, I always ate prime rib when I got up there. Well, recently, I had been plant-based for a number of weeks, months, actually. I think about 6 months when I went up there, and I went and had a prime rib, you know, and you know, the funny thing was, it didn't taste good. I didn't enjoy it at all, and it was the same restaurant that I always went to up there, and they were always good, and it wasn't really. And then I had a lot of pizza while I was up there too. And the funny thing is that by the time I came back, I'd been up there for a week. By the time I came back, I was so thirsty. I could not drink enough water because apparently I was dehydrated from the lack of fruits and vegetables in my diet during that week. And I was super tired. I was out of energy, like completely out of energy. So it was kind of crazy, all things considered. And that was the first time that I realized, hey, you're not always going to know how good you feel while you're feeding yourself correctly. It's not until you start feeding yourself badly and then you're like, oh man, I'm tired, I can't stay awake, I don't feel well, all those things that were gone. And there have been a couple of times where I've done that on different business trips, and then I was starting to feel awful, and I go in and I just drink a ton of fresh squeezed juice. Like I'll go to find the nearest Whole Foods or juice shop and just, you know, get straight up like orange or carrot or a mixed apple, whatever they've got. And you know, it's amazing how many times that just makes you feel better. So we'll see. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to throw that out there and kind of let you know what was percolating around in my thought processes there. So feel free to like and share the video and see, who we can get to comment and let me know what their thoughts are. Maybe nobody does, and I just have to make the decision on my own. I guess we'll see. Anyway, leave them in the comments down below, or of course you can hit me up over on Instagram. That's myunprocessed.life. Or you can hit me up on email, myunprocessedlife@gmail.com, and we can talk about it that way in case you're not comfortable with doing it in comments or whatever. You can always get me that way. So, all right, okay. So until next time, when I think of something else, thank you so much for joining me on My Unprocessed Life. I really enjoy spending time with you. I hope you enjoy spending time with me as well. I know you've got a lot of choices out there, and there's a lot of things that you can go do instead of hanging out with me. So I really appreciate your time. Have a great day. I'll talk to you again real soon.